Welcome everyone, and let's start the session again after this lunch break. My name is Sebastian. I'm founder of HOPR, and my job here today is to bring everyone back on stage before Stunny talks. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about a topic that's dear to me, which is privacy. So for the ones who did make it back from lunch break, do we have any developers in the room with us? Hands up. Oh, okay, cool. So do people here prefer to see slide or demo? Hands up for slides. Oh, damn. Hands up for demo. Oh, rough. Okay, good. I will show one slide anyway, which is for me the whole reason. Why do I care about privacy? And I hear a lot of talk about alignment. To me, it's about value alignment of what we're actually doing here. So to me, Ethereum and the wider Web3 ecosystem is about freedom. And in order to achieve freedom, we need something that's been talked about quite a bit, which is credible neutrality, which in turn needs censorship resistance, because otherwise all of that means nothing. Now, how do we get there? We get there with something that everyone is aware about, which is, of course, decentralization. But I think there's a second pillar, which is should be talked about much more, and that is privacy. Because decentralization of power only helps you so much when there's somebody looking at every single step that you take in the digital world. And that's something that we work on at HOPR by providing transport privacy, which is not on-chain privacy, right, but sending data privately. Now, what we work on at HOPR is a so-called mixnet, so it allows you to use peer-to-peer infrastructure without disclosing anything about yourself and without using metadata and making yourself be harvestable in the web in Web3. Now, that's all nice, right? We have this HOPR network which you can use to send data privately and relay it through this network. And I know this sounds all very theoretical. The HOPR network is live right now, so what I'm going to show is an application of how we use the HOPR mixnet to use, and that's the title of my talk, MetaMask in the most private way. And I'm not going to show you how we replace MetaMask and change everything. No, my intention here is to show you how you can use the tools that you're familiar with and the services that you like, but upgrade it in a level of privacy. So, and the ones who have a laptop open, you're welcome to play along with me. So what I'm going to do is you open this website called RPCh.net. That is the first product that we launched on top of the HOPR network, and it stands for RPC-over-HOPR, RPCh. And we have a demo for that also, so don't worry if you don't manage to catch up. We're happy to support you afterwards. Look for the guys in the yellow shirts. So I entered the access page, and since we are an Ethereum crowd, we're not going to log in with Google. We, of course, are going to log in with MetaMask. So I'm going to sign something. Don't worry, it's not YOLO signing. It's EIP 712 hashes. And yeah, if you need a code for this one to follow along, feel free. You don't have to pay. I'm not going to shill you this thing so that you pay right now. You can use the access code FREEPRIVACY in capital letters. That is FREEPRIVACY in capital letters. Now, what I'm going to show next is how you are basically installing on your machine a translator that allows your MetaMask to access Infura via our mixnet. Because unfortunately, MetaMask does not yet talk HOPR, right? MetaMask talks WebSocket or secure WebSocket, HTTP and HTTPS. Now what we're going to teach MetaMask is how to speak HOPR so that you can access RPC services in a private fashion. So yeah, Francesco told me I should do an actual demo, so pray for me that this works. So I'm going to run this Docker container. So this is the Docker container, which on the one hand side talks to your MetaMask, on the other hand side talks to the underlying HOPR network. And what we're going to do next is that we will connect this thing to my MetaMask. So you see here I have a normal MetaMask like absolutely everyone in this room is obviously familiar with, and I am going to add a network. and I'm going to add a network, and many people say, hey, Sebastian, can I just add another dropdown to get like private access to a blockchain? In this case, by the way, we just had a wonderful introduction to Linear. I'll be using Linear over Hopper. So let's do that. I'm going to add Linear as an endpoint over Hopper, so I can figure that network manually. Linear over Hopper. Now, the RPC URL, this is running on my machine, right? So this is something that, that runs on my machine. If you go back to the website, it kind of shows you how this looks like. You are giving yourself a provider that looks somewhat like running a local Ethereum node, but it has this provider tag. And that's being used so that I can provide different providers behind the scenes. So this works with any EVM chain on any EVM wallet, which I find kind of cool. So what we're going to do is I have an Infura account, again, like most people here, and I'm just going to copy-paste my Linear endpoint and paste it in here. So, and I'm going to show these two things side by side. Chain ID, I never know what Linear's chain ID is because it's some really big number. Now, nicely enough, MetaMask is giving me an error message when I enter something. And as you see already on the side in my terminal, MetaMask was already querying the chain ID. And this querying of the chain ID was going through Hopper nodes, right? So again, MetaMask sent a request which is saying, hey, dude, what chain am I on? This request is being taken by this RPCh Docker container. It's broken down into indistinguishable looking Hopper packets, hopping through this Hopper network, being sent off to Infura. Infura tells, you are on chain ID 59144. That information is being sent back through multiple Hopper nodes to me. So Infura doesn't know my IP address, and I don't necessarily know the IP address of the Infura server for both-sided privacy. Cool. So I forgot to update this one. This is 59144. And off we go. So I have an actual private access to Linear over Infura through the Hopper mixnet. Now, just because I wanted to show that this actually works, let's do some private sushi. Finish off lunch break with private sushi. So brace for this to work. Yes, my balance is loaded, and you see a bunch of like really big requests being sent through here. So I'm always a little bit nervous when it comes to that because these big requests are a bunch of Hopper packets which are being sent through this decentralized network that I'm showing here, and it turns out that that actually worked. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to swap 0.01 ETH, and for Axelar USDC on Linear. Swap that. And I get a pop-up from MetaMask. So we see a bunch of requests being made, like, again, to obtain the gas price, right, to format the full transaction. And yeah, it seems that my transaction did get sent. Let's check it Linear again. Yeah, awesome. OK, my transaction was submitted and sent through Linear. Thank you, everyone who supported Linear to make this work. Very happy that this worked in transaction. This transaction worked in production here. Nice. So basically, that's all I wanted to show you. Just very briefly, what did we just look at? We were looking at MetaMask using this SDK. So far, it's separate. Everyone here who's working on a wallet, very happy to talk to you because, of course, the end game is not that every one of you is running a Docker container, but the end game is that this one is deeply integrated into wallet and transparent to you as a user. Just like today, you don't have to understand how HTTPS works, right? Kind of really complicated stuff. I don't want you to have to understand how exactly a mixnet works, and you'll be able to use your wallet in a not just secure, but also private manner. And yeah, with that, whoever wants to check it out, go ahead. I don't know if we have question for 1 or 2 questions, but thank you so much for your attention.
Cool. Any question about the demo? It didn't break, so amazing job. So any question about Hopper RPC? Yes, we have a question on the back.
So what is the advantage of Hopper over using I2P or Tor?
Yeah. So of course there's privacy solutions right now like VPNs, I2P, Tor. None of them have actually strong metadata privacy. So yeah, basically Hopper gives you that. So for example, if you run Tor, it's relatively trivial if I monitor your internet service provider and the cloud provider on the other side to link incoming and outgoing traffic. And that's something, the trust assumptions of a mixnet are just stronger in that.
Well, for Tor, you could use a bridge. And what about IPFS? Not IPFS,
Right.
sorry, I2P.
Right. So that's still not metadata private.
I2P is.
It doesn't have the trust assumption of a mixnet. But happy to discuss about it
I2P
afterwards.
is kind of like Hopper from what I've seen. So, and I imagine that if you use Hopper, it will be much easier to fingerprint that you are using Hopper because there's much less people that are using Hopper instead of Tor or I2P.
Right. I mean, if you can use Ethereum over that, you can probably try that.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. I think, yeah, Sebastian will be around. Also speaks more about privacy mechanism and privacy infrastructure. But yeah, thanks, Sebastian, again. Big round of applause.